tried to check this word, happy, in some dictionaries, happy, happiness. I tried to check, and still I wasn't satisfied. Now, the Merriam-Webster dictionary says it's a state of well-being and being content. You're content. That means you're happy. Now, the WordNet says what he actually said, that they are emotions experienced when one is in a state of well-being. It's an emotion that if you're in a state of well-being, you experience. And many, many others. But then, like most of us said, when we think about happiness, one of the very first things that come in our mind is a certain emotion. Some excitement, some unique excitement. And for some people, the other thing that comes in the mind other than emotion when they talk of being happy is achieving a certain goal. Something somebody has been clamoring for so long. When they get it, happiness that cannot be explained comes into their mind. Now, for some people, happiness has to do with external things. It has to do with external things, which may include material, being around certain people, and being involved with certain activities or organizations. It has to do with an external item which brings happiness. But then, the question we are asking ourselves, amidst all this, shall we ever be happy? Shall we ever say that indeed we are happy? Because it's not uncommon for somebody to be so happy today and then next week they commit suicide. It's not uncommon. It's not uncommon for somebody to be so proud of their spouse or whomever they date and then next week they break up. It's not uncommon. Shall we ever be happy? Now, visiting the text we were looking at, Ecclesiastes chapter 1, we are looking at verses 3 and 4, but we shall begin from verse 2. The Bible says, vanity of vanities, says the preacher. Vanity of vanities. It's actually all vanity. What profit a man of all his labor, which he taketh under the sun? One generation passes away, and another generation comes, but the earth abides forever. Now, generations keep passing, but the earth continues to abide. Now, as generations involve people, they keep passing. Now, one of the greatest goals we have in this generation and any other generation is to plant seeds, leave them here and go. Now, I saw somebody draw a very interesting infographic on Facebook where they drew something like the spiral of life, where somebody begins life from a certain tunnel. Then they come out, and the first place they are welcomed to as they get out is school. That's the first place they go to, school. After school, they move forward and then come back to a place called work. After coming back to work, they move forward and then go to a place called family. After the family, they move forward and go to the other end, where there is a grave. And then that becomes the end. It was a very interesting infographic that really summarizes what life is all about. And most people looking at that really wonder, is this happiness? The sun arises, that's verse 5, and the sun goes down and hastens to his place where he arose. The sun keeps coming, going, meaning things just seem to be constant. So what is this that we are going to call happiness that is so unique? The sun looks the same every day. The moon looks the same every day. The stars look the same every single day. When I first visited Nairobi, I remember some of the things I could hear about Nairobi, some of the landmarks, some of the streets and avenues here. The Moi Avenue, the Tom Mboya Street, the Kenyatta Avenue were very popular as I grew reading newspapers. I could see them everywhere. And then it came to my mind that despite us passing through here, these landmarks do not really have life in them. But isn't it funny that most of us will die and leave them? They don't have life, but they outlive us. The wind goes toward the south and turns about the north. It whirls about continually, and the wind returns again according to its circuits. It just keeps recurring. So it just tells us that life, in some sense, has a recurrent nature. There is a longing of humanity to gain certain access to freedom. But just like this, the wind moves to the north, to the south, and still comes back, such is the way our lives are. This day we are happy. Tomorrow, it's no longer what we call happiness. It's a state of giving up. It's a state that reminds us probably that we could be in the wrong place. I don't know who has not felt at one point that you are not in the right place. You are not born around the right environment. I don't know whether you've ever asked yourself that question. There are times you look at so much evil around you and so much disappointment that comes from within that you wonder whether it's really worth still being alive. What is this happiness that we really are talking about? Now, most of the times these days, what do people do when they want to be happy? People resort to entertainment. Watch movies, watch comedy shows, engage in laughter, go out and meet together, have a drink in a joint and other things, as what we define towards happiness. Church is no longer a place where people were happy. In the past, they tell us it was associated with a lot of happiness, but these days, church is associated with a place where money is being extorted, where people are pretending, where people are hiding. It's no longer the place of happiness and bliss that it used to be. So I'm going to share with you a few things that people do to seek happiness, but they still don't obtain it. Things that people do to seek happiness, but they still don't seem to obtain it. Absolutely. Now, in attempts to seek happiness, people have immigrated from one country to another. Several people from the northern African countries have tried to immigrate to the Europe in search of happiness as they run away from dictatorial leaders and their tendencies. But most of them didn't manage to get there. Either they capsized with their boats in the Mediterranean, or they made it only for them to be deported again, because they still didn't get the happiness. Some of them managed to get in, but their life is a struggle. It is all misery. And they are never happy. They never get the happiness that they try to get. Now, some people believe that if they commit suicide, they'll be happy. So that's number 2. Committing suicide as a way to seek happiness. when everything seems lost. Everything seems impossible for them. They say, if I end my life, I'm going to a better place where nobody is going to disturb me. And that is their understanding of happiness. But it's never really bliss being in such a state, because if you commit suicide, you do not understand yourself. And according to me, none of us applied to be born. We did not ask the Creator to make us. Therefore, we also have no right to take ourselves, because we did not bring ourselves. Somebody else brought us. In the same way, the same that gives is the one that should take. So when somebody takes their life, to me, I look at it as rudeness before God. Because it's trying to tell the master that, I don't care what you think, let me go. It's some sort of rudeness before the master. However much we may look at it as a low form of self-esteem, it's still some sort of rudeness that I can make it to myself. Now, there are many countries that have now legalized euthanasia, which is the act of people being injected with some drugs so that they die a peaceful sleep, in their peaceful sleep. Several countries are in the process of legalizing it, and many people are looking forward to it as a better option to end their struggles, to end their problems. It's a virus moving fast, just the way legalization of things like homosexuality and lesbianism is moving fast. People are doing all this in their desperate attempts to be happy, but they are still not happy. Now, the third thing people try to do to be happy is insisting on a healthy, balanced diet. People go to hospitals, spend a lot of money with nutrition officers, consult their friends and many other people along their path on what they'll be able to do so that they are happy. And they are told, if you eat this, you'll be joyful. You'll never have anything to do with disease. You'll be happy for the rest of your life. But last time I checked, not being sick has nothing to do with being happy. There are so many of us who seem well, but we are not happy. We are depressed. We are worried about tomorrow. We are worried about things that we did before, which we wonder what would happen if somebody discovered that we actually did them. So it's not actually a state of happiness, as it were. Number 4, some people resort to engage in charity work as a way of being happy, but they don't really get happy. I know people who have opened charitable organizations with a great heart and desire to do good, but they ended up embezzling funds, and then they ended up being unhappy again. Or they ended up not getting the donations they so desired to run the charity, and all of a sudden they are unhappy. Sometimes it's possible to assist so many people, so you become the Superman in everybody's life, but it doesn't translate to happiness. There are so many people who do good things, but all the time they complain that all they keep doing is giving, and they get nothing in return. They are unhappy, even though they are giving. They visit sick people in hospitals, but they go back unhappy. They clothe the poor, but they still go home unhappy. They do all the good works that the master says, if you don't do, when I come, you'll say you know me, but I'll say I don't know you. They do all those things, but they are still not unhappy. So our good deeds are not necessarily the key to happiness. Number 5, people pray for miracles to be happy, but they are still unhappy. It's possible to be granted a miracle in your life, but you still won't be happy. Solomon is the one man that asked God for wisdom, and he was still unhappy. That's why in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, he begins by saying that life is vanity, is useless, as other versions would say. Despite all the wisdom he had to make good decisions, it was still useless to live life. He wasn't happy. Tried so much into women, up to 1,000 of them, but he was still not happy. Had the biggest kingdom, had all the wealth and splendor and magnificence that came with a palace in the olden days, but he was still not happy. Conquered battles, fought and was well known all over the world at the time, but he was still not a happy man. Number 6, ministering God's word. You may say, all I want to do for me to get happiness is to go and share God's word with some people. Buy some Bibles for them or some other materials so we can share together and I'll obtain happiness. I know people who do that and still get depressed and they are sick. Some get hospitalized. Some move from sharing in God's word because of so many problems. They go into drinking. They go into smoking. So number 6 is ministering God's word. You can do all that pertains to God's word, I tell you. I've spent some good amount of time probably in my life ministering God's word, but it's not the source of happiness. That's why we are looking at ultimate mentality solutions. What is it that will get us the ultimate mentality, especially the one driving us to heaven, even as we seek for maximum joy in this earth? There are people who start ministering God's word at a very young age or a very advanced age. They give up all the God's word, go back to smoking, go back to drinking, go back into adultery, and engage in other things that keep drawing them further and further away from what they preach. They preach this, they do this. Preaching water and drinking wine almost all the time, and it leads into a constant state of depression, denying them the happiness that they ever wanted, and they still never get it. Number 7, join or change a church. People change, move left, right, and center. Leaving church A, going to church B. Sometimes they get a temporal fulfillment, temporal happiness. This is the place I wanted to be. They feel indeed they have arrived at the right place, but then all of a sudden, they are unhappy again. They are so tired. It reminds me about jobs. People are so happy moving from one job to the other, engaging a new client, leaving the old one. There is some temporary feeling that this is the very right person, but after a short while, the old regimen is back in place. You no longer feel that's the right place you want to be in. And that state of happiness is gone. It's disappeared forever. Number 8, some people change their friends, change their contacts, change their phone numbers, change everything to seek happiness, to delineate themselves from other people so that they engage new people, trying to form new friends, going out in places they have never gone before so they can gain contacts with new people in the search for happiness, but they still never become happy. Some temporary feeling of excitement comes, but all of a sudden it's gone again. The light is dimming again. There is no happiness. Number 9, people try to go for a vacation or shopping in search for happiness, but they never get it. Some people have gone for vacation in the search for happiness, but all they worry about is their budget, even on their vacation. They are still worried about their business, worried about their children, worried about their job. It still doesn't result in the happiness that they want. Some people go shopping, buy everything nice they see, but when they go back home, they realize all they bought are things they don't require. They just bought stuff that they admired, not things they needed to move on with life. Have you seen people who go shopping, buy very many elegant things which they don't need to use, and 2 days after they get home, they begin making calls, borrowing money. Yet they spend all their money buying things they don't need. Happiness. Going into debt they cannot pay. Now they begin losing friends left, and even center. They are losing all the friends, all the childhood friends. Newly acquired friends are avoiding them. They can no longer pick their calls. There is no happiness. Now, interesting facts about happiness. People do so many things to try and seek happiness, but it doesn't seem to come. It doesn't seem to arrive. Now, number one, happiness has nothing to do with your face. It's good one of us had mentioned smiling. I mean, I've gone to functions, I've attended weddings where I saw people smile so well, but underneath was hidden some sorrow, some pain, some regret. Haven't you gone to homes where people welcome you so well with a smile, and the moment you leave they're cursing why you came, yet you never even told them? It's a smile. Haven't you seen people in public walking 2 by 2? They are all smiling, they are holding their hands. But when you go back home, you watch the news, the same couple you saw has been fighting, and one of them is now hospitalized. Facial expression has nothing to do with being happy. I've known people who are masters at smiling. Sometimes, when you just say hi to them, even before you say anything, they are smiling. It doesn't mean they're happy. Some people have so much of a conditioned smile that even when you say something bad and they still didn't hear it, they smile because it's conditional. Number 2, happiness cannot come from good circumstances. Sometimes that's what we pray for. Maybe last year I struggled with this year I hope things will change this way. I've been struggling to have a better income, to have a higher salary. Now I get it. Now I can get a home I wanted. I can buy the furniture I wanted. But it still doesn't mean one is happy. I was talking to someone last week. It's interesting, the way tenants keep moving from one house to another. You spot problem A, you move to another house, you solve problem A, but in the new house, you are welcomed by problem B. Doesn't result in being happy. People move from houses because they can't gain access to water. Now they want to go to houses where there is water, but no sooner do they arrive there and have their plentiful water than their clothes are picked from the line as they dry. You solve this one, you go into another one. And when I see life, it's a series of problems, graduating from one problem and moving to the next. When we were in primary, all the problems we had were struggling to keep quiet in class when we were told we should always be quiet. Now we overcame that. We now live in a life where nobody cares whether we are talking or not, but we still have problems. There are times all the problems we had were to do with pocket money. We asked for pocket money. We never got enough. These days we have nobody to ask. We have money that is far much bigger than the pocket money we used to ask for, but we are still not happy. Money hasn't solved the problem. Some people worry so much about who they hang around with, about whether they are going to enter a relationship. Now the Bible says it is not good for a man to be alone. Men try to avoid their best, to do their best, to avoid being alone. No sooner do they start a relationship than they begin complaining that somebody is on their neck. It's not being happy. Number 3, happiness has nothing to do with academic achievements. It has nothing to do with it. I met one young man whom I admired so much when I was in high school. He was the dining hall captain. Very responsible man, well respected and man of authority, who carried himself around with great respect, showed a lot of self-esteem, used to do so well in his class, and everybody looked to him, indeed, as a role model. When I was walking around the streets of Kenyatta University, I couldn't believe what I saw. Struggling with alcoholism, lost. And I was told he has been struggling, he has been trying to attend rehabilitation classes, but he's still not able to get out of his alcoholism now. What used to be bliss is no longer what it is at the moment. Can we ever be happy? Number 4, happiness has nothing to do with the job you have. People move from one job to the other, get promoted in positions, shift companies, get more recognition than what they began with, but they are still never the happy people that they thought they should be. They don't seem to attain the happiness that they wanted to attain in the first place. Number 5, happiness has nothing to do with what you own. You can own all the items in the world, but you still won't be happy. Now, I've read stories of over 13 millionaires, well known all over the world, that have committed suicide, even with their millions. Now, some who are billionaires, as the depressions came, as financial crisis in their countries came, or in their industries of investment, as their net worth kept reducing, they felt life was so useless, and some of them ended up even committing suicide in itself. Property has nothing to do with being happy. Now, those at that time who didn't even have property had no reason to commit suicide. Those who thought they were happy because of what they owned had reasons now to end their life, which doesn't mean anything to do with being happy. Number 6, it has nothing to do with having children. Now, of course, there are people who say, all I want is a child, and I'll be happy. I don't want a man, all I want is a child, and I'm going to be happy. Children come, they struggle raising them, the children disrespect them, they begin even beating them up. They're no longer happy again. Now, couples struggle that if we get this child, we are going to be happy. The child comes, it begins going wayward. It's the most difficult and harrowing experience they ever have in their lives. It is no longer what they thought it is going to be. It's never a state of happiness. Happiness has nothing to do with the in-laws you have. You could have the best in-laws in the world, you're never happy. You could have the worst in-laws in the world, you still won't be happy. It's all the same. Happiness has nothing to do with providing the best education for children, even for yourself. It has nothing to do with it. You can have all the degrees in the world, but you still won't be happy. Happiness has nothing to do with absence of malady. It has nothing to do with absence of struggles in life. Life is just a struggle. We can never reach a point where we don't struggle to attain something. In life, we have to be fighting for something. That's why we are alive. We cannot live in a state where we are doing nothing and hoping for nothing and looking forward to nothing and say that we are happy. I see people after their retirement going to villages to wake up in the morning, go to the shopping center and bask in the name of being happy, but they are never happy. As long as we are alive, we are here to do something for the days of our lives. Christ himself is always doing something. That's why he's ministering and praying for us, even at the right hand of God right now. He doesn't sit doing nothing, and that's what keeps happiness in us, not in him, because he's the creator of happiness. He doesn't need to understand happiness. Facts about happiness. Number 9. Happiness does not just exist. It's acquired. It is something you have to acquire. It is something the mind has to be trained into for us to be happy. Number 10, happiness is a state of the mind. It's a state you put in your mind. It is possible for you to walk here in town. You are attacked by a pickpocket, you still go home happy. It's possible. And it's possible for you never to be attacked by anybody the rest of your life. You will forever be unhappy. It's a state you command in the mind. It's a state. There is one man I know who lost his wife, and everybody was so worried for him because he was a popular figure. People ran into his household to comfort him. But when they got there, he's the one who was actually comforting them. Happiness is a state of the mind. Because for him, he understood death as temporary separation with his lovely wife. That's why he was not worried. Facts about happy people. Facts about happy people. Now, they don't necessarily need to enter a relationship with the opposite sex for them to be happy. Now, it's always good to sound this warning, especially those of us who have already crossed the path of these relationships, that relationships have nothing to do with being happy. I made many mistakes while dating, entered several relationships, came out of them, but I still wasn't happy. People enter relationships so that happiness comes, but this happiness comes with a lot of responsibility, comes with commitment, sometimes strains their finances, it strains their time budgets. They are still not happy. Sometimes entering a relationship means you are beginning a struggle with your parents who are going to disagree with all your plans. And remember, if you hadn't entered that relationship, there wouldn't have been such a struggle. You would have been relaxing in place. Relationships have nothing to do with being happy. Facts about happy people. They don't need a breakup to be happy. Some people insist, I've been struggling all the days of my life. The only way for me to be happy is to get out of this relationship. That doesn't guarantee happiness. It can guarantee a better destiny. It can guarantee a better life, but it has nothing to do with being happy. The best of people get annoyed, and they can be annoying. The best of people can be very disappointing at times, and they will not be able to guarantee any form of happiness in life. Number 3, they don't need to get married to be happy. Now, there is a misconception in our society that, people are getting married, men are getting married so they can have their food cooked, so they can have their laundry done. Women are getting married so they don't have to worry about bills anymore. There will be somebody else doing that. Somebody can do all that and you still won't be happy. Because there are still other issues to worry about in life. There are other problems that come with it. Being washed clothes for, being cooked for, comes with other responsibilities. It comes with a bigger house. It comes with buying more stuff, meaning more struggle to get the more money. Doesn't mean being happy. Having somebody by your side doesn't necessarily mean being happy. They don't need a divorce. Happy people don't need a divorce to be happy. Some people, after struggling so much in their relationship, say, enough is enough. The only way I'm going to be happy is to get out of this relationship. Let me get out of this marriage and be single once again and look young once again and enjoy as I walk in the streets once again with nobody reminding me of what to do or complaining about what I didn't do. But it doesn't mean they are happy. Number 6. Happy people don't need many friends for them to attain their state of happiness. I see people going every place trying to pick people's phone numbers as they struggle to have more friends so they can achieve happiness, so they can achieve other goals. It's possible for you to achieve your goals, to sell your products, to improve your margins, to make more money, to have more profits, but still never be happy. Now, happy people don't need a lot of money. The struggle we have in life is for us to make it. Making it in the way we understand making it, in the way we have been taught of what success is all about. We keep struggling, working harder, trying to do things better, looking for jobs, improving knowledge, gaining more skills, building more networks, joining more social circles, networking circles, improving the networking concepts that we have in our minds. But that has nothing to do with being happy. You can have all the money in the bank account, but you still won't be happy. Bank accounts can be frozen, and that still won't bring happiness. Sometimes having money comes with the depression of how to spend it. And there is the depression that if I do this, in future I may not have this money yet I need it. There is still a persistent worry about what the future is going to be. It has nothing to do with being happy. Number 8, happy people don't necessarily have a sense of humor for them to claim that they are happy. There are over 19 well-known comedians around the world that have committed suicide. They leave the stage and go back home depressed. Making people happy and laughing with people doesn't mean being happy. There can be excitement that comes with a certain situation, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we are happy. Happiness is a deeper state. It is something bigger than really the emotions we express. They may signify happiness, but it is something temporal. We need long-term happiness, happiness that is constant, so that we are not confused along the way. Now, number 9, happy people understand what life is all about. Life is about doing what we have been called to do. And so the moment we don't figure out what we were called to do, we shall never be happy. If we don't figure it out, we shall never be happy. It's possible for people to have the goal of making money. Now, God did not create anybody to make money. That's not a goal God gave anybody to do on this earth. That's why people make more money and still end up in prison. People make more money, end up around so many bodyguards. They are bitter. They still make more money and annoy everybody else around their circles. Make more money and have so many enemies in the deals that they are trying to broker. It doesn't necessarily mean they are happy. Now, happy people. Number 10. Happy people put all their trust in God. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 that we lean not on our own understanding, but put all our trust in the Lord who created heaven and earth. That's where happiness begins. Putting our trust in the Lord. Because anything else we can put our trust in can disappoint. If you put your trust in a spouse, you can be disappointed. If you trust a friend with a secret, you can be disappointed. Hey, how many of you have told somebody something and you thought they are the only person you told and you hear it rotating next week from another mouth? People can disappoint. Putting our trust in jobs because they are permanent and pensionable. All I know is that there is nothing permanent and pensionable. I've checked all over around the world. People who are permanent and pensionable can be interdicted and their jobs can end anytime. There's nothing like being permanent. Sometimes you could have the best work environment, but still some people around connive to use your name or your signature, and the next time there is a scandal, you find yourself in prison. You cannot put trust in a job. You cannot put trust in an organization. You can't put trust in people. You can't put trust in friends. Never trust in people you date or people you would get married to, because they can still change their minds. Last week we looked at the example of this man who was given a story in the media since 2010. He was married for 25 years. He was happily married with 3 children, well educated, and they shared their bank accounts. They had everything jointly owned. Everything was jointly owned because, they trusted each other. Everything somebody got, they entrusted in the name of the other because, they got married. And when we get married, the Bible says we are one. So because the concept is, can two walk together unless they be agreed? So they understood that concept very well. Got together, began sharing everything, owning everything together, walking together, going to church together, sitting together, doing everything else you could imagine together. And after 25 years of marriage, somebody loses his job. 1 year down the line, he can't find another job. Then the better half says, I'm tired of it. Arranges a meeting with the children. They connive together. They come. They hurl abuses at the man. They tell him he's useless. He has never helped them and everything else. The following morning, they get out of the house and carry everything with them and they go. That's where the Lord says, never put your trust in anybody or anything. Only put your trust in the Lord, who makes heaven and earth. Now, I don't mean you go and mistrust everybody, but what the Bible says is, trusting somebody does not guarantee happiness, because they can still disappoint. They can change their minds. I mean, how many people got into relationships by people who promised them, or they promised somebody else that I'll be with you for the rest of my life, we shall be together, and right now they are not together anymore. We do make promises which create a temporary feeling of happiness, but it doesn't necessarily mean happiness. Because we are sinners, we are imperfect people. The things we do may look perfect, but it's for a moment. And we don't perfect in everything we do. We become imperfect. Like today, I was supposed to come here early. I delayed, I came late. I'm an imperfect person. I can never make everybody happy. Neither can I myself make happiness or create it within me in the way I thought I would be. How many of you sometimes look at yourselves and you are unhappy with yourself? You are unhappy for things you were supposed to do you didn't do, or you are unhappy for things you were not supposed to do but you did. Unhappy. Still with our own selves, we have the ability to control that happiness, but we still don't make it. It's something bigger than us being happy. Now, our Master who dwells in heaven taught us some great concepts of happiness. And in Matthew chapter 5, as he gives the Beatitudes, some versions have well translated them into the Beatitudes of happiness. Others call them blessings, others call them happiness. But one thing it tells you is that happiness has to do with a blessing, and a blessing has to do with happiness. That's why the Bible says in Matthew chapter 5 verse 3 that happy are those who are poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom. When they realize they are poor in spirit and they want their spirit to be filled, then they are happy. Happy are those that mourn, for when they mourn, especially for their own sins and wickedness and wretchedness, then they shall be comforted. Happy are those that are meek, who are humble in what they do, in how they deal with other people, for they shall inherit the earth. That is the new earth, which shall come down after the 1,000 years that have been spent in heaven. The new earth is coming down. Happy are those that hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. The same Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness, and then all these other things shall be given unto you. These are the people who have understood the real key for happiness. Everything else without seeking the kingdom of God is vanity. It's all vanity. That's what Solomon said, as we read in Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 2. He begins by saying everything is all vanity. Life is just useless. There's nothing we do that seems to make any sense. It doesn't mean we stop doing, but it doesn't mean again that if we do, then it's going to bring the happiness that we really need. Happy are those that are merciful, for when they are merciful unto others, they will be able to judge them as they ought to have been judged. Then they themselves shall be able to obtain mercy. It has to do with us being merciful, because the Bible says again that righteousness and mercy meet together. The righteousness of God and His mercy, they meet together. As we attain for righteousness, He fills us because He has mercy upon us. He knows we cannot attain that perfection. Therefore, He takes that extra step to fill us so that we be happy. We can only be happy if we accept our Lord and Savior Jesus. For the Bible says, the righteous, God, the Lord is a strong tower where the righteous run and they stay safe. The safety that has to do with the tower of God is what we need as the source of happiness. Happy are they that are pure in heart. For when they are pure in heart, then they will be able to see God. And it's not just seeing God when God comes again to take them home. It is seeing God in their lives. It is seeing God in everything that they do, because they are happy. They are pure. That's why men like Stephen were stoned, but they were still happy, saying, God, forgive them. It's still a state of happiness even as they are dying. So happiness has nothing to do with living too long. It's a state that we acquire. You can live the shortest life possible, but you are still the happiest person in this world. Blessed are those that make peace, for they that shall be called the children of God. Those that endeavor to make peace. Not peace necessarily with everybody else around them, but peace against fighting their own battles. They make peace by agreeing that the Lord shall fight their own battles. They don't struggle so much. They don't struggle anymore. For no amount of human struggle can bring satisfaction. I see billionaires struggling all over the world. I try to see the schedules of the billionaires that we have who are famous all over the world. Most of them wish that the ordinary day would have maybe 25 or more hours, because when they try to look at their 24-hour day, it is still not sufficient. They want to make more money. They want to broker more deals, but they are still never as happy as they thought they need to be. Their targets fall short. They are always in court with cases of infringement of intellectual property and rights. They have so many lawyers around them. They have to walk around with bodyguards. That's not a state of being happy. It's a state of power and authority, but no happiness is involved. Happy are they that are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs will be the kingdom. The message of the kingdom is what we persist in for us to be able to achieve happiness. Now, Solomon, in his reign as kingdom, he got all the power, got all the relationships he needed to get, went into all forms of sexual lust that he wanted to fulfill with so many other women. He still looked at everything with all his wealth, with all the networks he had in the entire world, with all the wisdom he had, with the ability he still had to be able to receive instructions from God himself. He looked at himself and still considered his life to be useless. He wasn't happy. Therefore, what is the formula for happiness? Now, you must come to the understanding of oneself. That's the first and most important thing. We are approaching the end. You must come to the understanding oneself as a human person. That's the first formula, the first item in the formula for happiness. We must come to the understanding of who we are. First, we are creatures, we are imperfect, we are immortal. We are mortal. There is nothing we do that can really guarantee happiness. There's nothing. Now, happiness is not a state we can postpone. That's an important item in the formula for happiness. It's not a state we postpone. That tomorrow I'll be happy, next year I'll be happy, after 5 years I'll be happy, after I do this I'll be happy. Happiness begins right now. It begins with the moment that we have. It's taking one moment at a time. That's where people can get rich, they are unhappy, people are poor and still happy. It's a state. It's a state. It's the moments and how we maximize on those moments that guarantees us happiness in our lives. Number 3, you cannot change everything to be happy. It's not possible to change everything. Even Christ himself, who came to die for us on the cross, didn't manage to convince everyone to follow him. He didn't. You can't change everything. Now, number 4, which is very important, you need inner peace. Inner peace is the key formula for happiness. We need the peace that passeth all understanding. There is peace that you can obtain which you can't even explain, because it's not something you really put on yourself. It is something that rests in you because of the grace of God. That's the peace that we need for us to be happy. It's important for us to work towards attaining all our goals in this earth, in this life, but that will never guarantee us the happiness that we so desire. Now the last verse, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13, as Solomon has looked upon his life, he looks at everything around him, begins to reminisce the good memories he had, begins to wonder why he walked a certain path, explains so much about life and death. He comes to a conclusion and says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. If we do this, which is the whole duty, then, as the Bible says, all these other things shall be added unto us. Happiness is one of them. It shall be added. So you can be single and happy, you can be single and unhappy. It's a state. It's a state that we acquire. Now, you can look at the man of God like Elijah, having gone through one of the most interesting lives you could ever see in the face of the earth. 8 miracles recorded to his name in the Bible. After defeating all the 450 prophets of Baal, he goes into the desert. He's unhappy. He laments before God and says, look, everybody else has gone against you. I'm the only one who keeps your word in Israel. The Lord tells him, who told you you are the only one? But Elijah still goes ahead to say, I'm tired of being in this earth. You better take away my life. After all that moment, having to be with God, he's still not happy. He says, take away my life. I'm tired. It's possible for any of us to be tired. It's possible for the people whom we depend on so much to be tired, and sometimes they will disappoint us. But let us not look to weapons for happiness. Let us look at the source of happiness, who is the Lord that made you, that made me, that made them. That's the source of happiness. So that is my prayer for you in Jesus' name today. Thank you so much.